Hey everybody, Steven here playing Subnautica Below Zero, experimental build 19769. And we had a couple big updates today, and one of the biggest ones was the last one that actually changed some stuff going on with the Fabricator Caverns here. So we're in the crystal caves here, which with all the small detail work that I've noticed that they've changed just this last handful of updates, it's looking really good. It was already looking good, but specifically around the edge with where we actually kind of exit and get into the Fabricator Caverns here, it's just looking awesome. But more importantly, going into the Fabricator Caverns here, they've changed the shape of these, and I don't even know what they're like, crystals. On the fandom site, somebody was like, they're like lithium red. Right? I don't know exactly what that is, so I'm just gonna call them crystals. But they changed the shape, which is awesome, because before they looked blocked out, and that's kind of typical of what you see with what the devs do. They kind of block out the shape and then they change that. But more importantly, they actually added texture to the ground here, so they've changed the look of this. Now obviously this is going to get better over time, but it looks really cool now. And I'm surprised because they've added more. Just how tight the corridors are going down here. I love when they kind of force you from these big areas into these small ones. Just a gameplay thing that I think is really cool that they do in game. So going through here, coming down, and then we get down here to where the Fabricator base is going to be. And then it actually stops, so you won't actually see. Actually, I don't even have the water volume off. You'll see that it stops, right? But this is what it looks like. Like, that looks really cool. Love that look. I'll be interested to see what kind of flora they put down here. What type of plants we're gonna see. Now, an interesting thing with this, let's go here, let's go night. So when it's nighttime, you'll see that these glow red. Add that with the ground, and it looks really cool. Like, that is awesome. Of course, we got our two shadow leviathans, and their red matches this. Extra creepy. We'll get closer over here, and we'll pull the fog back off. So, as you can see, very tight corridors trying to get through here, and that's a little different too. That red right there, I'm wondering if that's more the texture that this will look like when it's done. And then we'll go to the other side, so another entryway that we can take. But it is shaping up very well. And now that I'm seeing the kind of different angles and blockiness that they're adding to this, it looks way better than that shape they did have, especially the ends where it's all messy looking. Like I said, it's hard to tell. Like, it looks like the crystals from the crystal caves, just a different version of it. That looks really cool. Let's bring our water volume back on. Oh, got one little mineral right there. We got fish. So, they haven't added in the actual Fabricator base yet. For anybody following on the Twitter account, or I know some people are looking at the different changes off of, I think Scott said there's a link on the Wikipedia that you can follow that has more detailed, organized notes. They're working on the, is it the animation or the cinematic for the base? So we should see that in the next day or two. So I'll definitely have a video up on that. But that is this part. There it is. It's looking really good. Get a screenshot of that. But that's not all that they've done. So let's actually go ahead and hop out of here, because one of the other things I want to cover is the entrance over by the first part of the crashed ship, because I literally did a video earlier today, and the entryway was different. I can't remember if I talked about it in that video or not. I might not have. It might have been the third portion of the crash ship that I talked about this. But they've been tweaking this area more and more. And we had our entryway over to Marg's base, one of the entryways over here, right? It was here, I believe. It is no longer there. So now, instead of being there, where it was just kind of a straight shoot in true Subnautica fashion, and we have another entry point here, you're going to have to go through some caves, and you're going to have to go through some stuff in order to get there. Let's bring that water volume back on. So now we're going through those tight corridors again. Got to get by some brute sharks there. And now we'll see the base. And they actually reorganized it. It's kind of throwing me off with how they've done that. So that's different now because the ceiling's coming down. Whoa. And we got, of course, I don't think they changed anything in here. Yeah, they didn't change anything in Marg's base. It's really just the reorganization of that. But they did add the texture on the outside now so that this looks kind of rusted and worn down also. Let's bring that water volume back off again, because I need to figure out where I'm at. Okay. So this way we go down to the crystal caves. This way we go... Oh, there's another entryway down there. We go out and we end up by the vent gardens here, by the big tree spire. So we have the two entry points there. This one's still the same, but they changed up that. Looking at it now too, after one of those things where I've seen it happen enough, but I just kept on like thinking, no, that's, I'm just like disregarding it. It's when I see like a general shape of something, like my brain goes, oh, that's what it's going to look like, and I should learn to understand that that's not necessarily how that's going to be. What they're typically doing is just giving that general shape, and then they come back and they rework it a bunch. So I mean, they've done that a bunch just with anybody that's been following the original outline of kind of what they were doing with the crystal caves is nothing like what it looks like now, right? Which is part of the fun, for me at least, in making these videos, is to kind of document like all the changes over time. And then I get to go back and see, oh man, that's what it used to look like. So kind of selfishly doing these for myself, but to see it have a general shape, and then sometimes it gets completely scrapped, or like with this, it was just a kind of general opening. I thought, oh, that's the way it's going to be, and then they like shift it way over, and then they make it just way better. I haven't seen anything that they've done where I've like, that's worse. Everything that they do is making the game much, much better. So that's the second big thing that I've seen. And then somebody mentioned this in one of the comments, so we're actually going to look at it now, is what they actually tweaked the kind of entry area over to the Glacial Basin. And I'm going to bring the water volume back on. So one of the things that is going to happen though is I noticed the shift that it does from like the dark waters. When we get closer, I don't know if it'll still do it. Let's see. Heading in the right direction here. Right there. There it is. So it goes from like this to boom. So we're seeing that lighting. Obviously they're going to tweak that. It's not how it's actually going to go. Most likely some type of gradual effect that they'll do, but coming in here now, completely different. They've reshaped it. They've changed the texture on the ground, added in some plants. What you'll notice here is just kind of like that lighting effect that it has on it. We're gonna see a couple basically like unfinished versions of that. So got multiple ways to get in here. Coming down, There we go. And you'll see them right over there, just kind of those cones. Right, unfinished. But then this gets way different, like very rocky terrain. Looks way better. I'm suspecting they'll add, obviously we got the 2 right there. I don't know if they'll add more than that. I don't see any more. But those little touches, compared to kind of like the flat version before, is making the game look more and more kind of finished. Getting closer to the end here. I don't think they added anything in here. No. Does look like maybe more in here. I don't think so. That's probably in my head. Yeah. So we're getting closer to the November release with all of this. And I think in the next couple weeks, we're obviously going to see the Fabricator base. And I think we're going to see the other precursor base that has one of Alan's body parts in it in the deep lily pads. I think we'll see that obviously in there as well. There you go. Go ahead and get out of here. And then certain things that aren't finished, like this, the ice shelves and stuff like that aren't done. We'll slowly start to see those integrated in the game. Obviously, I think those are going to be things that are kind of last on their list. I don't think they're going to push really hard to get that done right now. Certain other things that I see in the game too, like this, where it's like a line, where it's obviously not completely smoothed out. We'll start to see those things actually finished as well. But the game has come so far since launch. It's crazy to think. I was playing through this earlier and I was like just in this area where it was literally just like a big open area, nothing in it. They had like, I think, part of Marg's base, and that was really it. Other than that, it was just a big, like almost like bowl. And then they shifted that a little bit, and then we had multiple layers to it, and certain things got scrapped. I still am curious to see what they do with this area over here. They've done some, like I've seen some tweaks, but I don't know if that's leading into anything or if that's just because they're working over here and this stuff needs to change. So just basically is reflecting that. But that is it, everybody. Just wanted to give an update. The second the Fabricator base goes up too, I'll have one of those videos. But if you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.